What's going on, muscle monsters? Alain Gonzalez here, and in this video we are going to talk about your metabolism and whether or not it's actually keeping you skinny. You see, when I first started weightlifting, I was 107 pounds as an adult, right? I was in my early 20s and still weighed just as much as a high school girl. And so when my brother would try to push me to get into the gym, I guess the reason I never wanted to go was because I felt as if it would be a waste of time, right? Because of my metabolism. It's just too fast. No matter what I do, I can't gain weight, and I'm stuck in this skinny body forever. So you're probably thinking the same thing, and if you are, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Your metabolism, okay, believe it or not, is not much faster than anyone else's. Statistically speaking, we all fall within a very small range of each other, okay? 200 to 300 calories from each other, all right? That's the equivalent of a peanut butter sandwich. So when you think that it's your metabolism that's keeping you skinny, it's not actually the case. Most of us metabolize within the same extent, okay? Now you're probably wondering, well, what the hell? You know, if it's not my metabolism, why can't I gain weight? Well, it's got something to do with a little something called NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This, and this is shown in the research, is the one factor that makes the biggest difference between individual to individual when it comes to calories that we burn, right? And so non-exercise activity is basically the calories that you burn, you know, when you're walking from your car to the gym, or brushing your teeth, or thrashing around in your bed, things of that nature. And ours just seems to be much higher than most other people. So this equates to a higher energy expenditure. Because our energy expenditure is high, our energy needs become higher. And then on top of that, our energy needs are high and our appetite is low. So it's a recipe for not eating enough, okay? We've eaten so little for so long, despite what you may think, that your stomach is hasn't really adapted to consuming a large amount of calories. So for example, when I tell you eat this much and you start tracking your calories and you realize, shit, this is a lot of food. I can't stomach this much, you know? I'm feeling too full. Well, that's because you haven't given it enough time. So at first, it's gonna feel like a torture method, right? Like you're force feeding yourself. But eventually, as your stomach adapts, right? Because it's like a balloon, and it'll expand. So over time, as it expands, your appetite will increase. This is why it's very important as naturally skinny guys that we really get on an eating schedule and that we're very mindful of what we're doing with our calories. Because if we kind of just eat intuitively, not only are we never gonna reach the number of calories we need, but we're never really going to get our stomach and our appetite to adapt to what we're trying to do. There's a very simple solution to actually getting yourself in a position where you're finally gaining weight and building muscle. My formula is very simple, but if you follow this formula, it's guaranteed that you will start moving the scale, okay? And that's what we want, right? We want to move the scale upwards in order to gain weight. And this is gonna happen by reaching a caloric surplus. So how do you ensure that you're eating enough to gain weight and build muscle regardless of a high NEAT or low appetite, things of that nature? For the appetite aspect, I've got a few videos, which I will link in the description, where I'll talk about some tips you can use to increase your appetite. But ultimately, the main one that I would recommend is simply just get on an eating schedule. Know when you're gonna eat and try to eat at that time every day. And then what happens is, say for example, you always skip breakfast, right? Well, every time you wake up, you're not gonna be hungry. But once you start, you know, forcing yourself to have a little something at breakfast, over the course of a few days or a week, you're gonna realize that, okay, now I'm hungry in the morning, okay? And then you can just build on that. So at first you're hungry in the morning, but you can only stomach a small meal. Well, you gradually increase that meal till your body adapts to it, and now you are hungry for a big meal in the morning after a couple of weeks of doing this, okay? Now, So that takes care of the appetite. That's how we're gonna increase the appetite. But how do we ensure that now we are eating enough, right? That we are actually moving the scale? Very simple, okay? The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your body weight, multiply it by 20, and that is gonna be the number of calories that you are going to be consuming on a daily basis. And again, this is your body weight in pounds. I don't want you to worry about protein, carbs, and fats. I only want you to focus on the total caloric intake for now. All we're trying to do is find your maintenance, put you in a surplus, and then we can worry about the other variables. So every single day, you're gonna eat this many calories. You're gonna weigh yourself in the morning on an empty stomach under the same exact circumstances. Okay, at the end of the week, you're gonna get an average of all of those weigh-ins. You're gonna do this for 2 weeks. At the end of the second week, I want you to compare that average to your first average. If the average has stayed the same, this means that you are consuming enough calories to maintain your weight. All you have to do is increase your calories by 250, continue doing this, and you're gonna notice that your weight is now going up. The average weight is now going up. If you did increase your average, then this means you're in a caloric surplus and you're gaining weight. So I want you to continue tracking your weight daily, hitting your calorie intake for the day, and then getting those weekly averages to ensure that you're always in that caloric surplus and you're gaining weight. And if you're in the gym, obviously getting stronger, then a lot of this is going to be muscle mass. So that's pretty much it, guys. Just a very, very simple strategy, but I guarantee you it'll get the needle moving in the direction you want it to. If you're a naturally skinny guy like me and you want to put on some size, but you're having a hard time eating enough, then grab my 25 high-calorie meal recipes. It's completely free. Just go to the link below, put your name and your email address, you'll get instant access to that. If you want a cool recipe, one that you can pretty much get over 800 calories in 5 minutes, then watch this video right here, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.